Hello, everyone. Hello, Anna.
Hi.
So it's me and Anna again. We started our 2025. So this is our first program for Andy Business Club. So all the viewers, you're watching this webinar, and I'm Dr. Shah Siddiqui, and I have Anna Brumington with me. And you know that we have produced 12 program last year, and we aim to do a lot of programs this year in person and online. So I think Anna can give an introduction that what we're going to do this year. Anna, you going to go for?
Yeah, we've got lots of online sessions, but we're coming back to Fair Innovation Centre where we first started to do our in-person sessions. We moved online because we wanted to get a bigger audience, didn't we, and reach more people, Dr. Shah, didn't we? But we thought it'd be really nice to come back to Fair Innovation Centre and do an event in March where we can all meet up in person and talk about the big issues that are coming up in sort of neurodiversity and how we can look at sort of how the government can help us, won't we? So it's going to be brilliant. So if anyone that can make it to Fairham in March, we'll be putting out details of that. Please do come because it'll be really fun.
Yes. So what is the plan that we are doing now? Because we wanted to raise a issue and solve a problem. So we know that we are neurodivergent people, and different person are different. Everyone is individuals, have individual characteristics, and so that's why I think neurodiversity and the problems associated to it never get picked up, because it's hundreds of problems, and which one you can solve. But what we wanted to do, we wanted to streamline, at least prioritizing one problem to fix at a time. So that's why maybe if we solve one problems, people they are facing that problem will feel comfortable and get more rights, or can get back to work or do a lot of things themselves, and then we can move into the other problems. Because if we wanted to consider solving everything, that can be done. So Anna, it's my pleasure to work with you, and as well as delivering these online sessions and as well as in-person sessions. So today we wanted to talk about mastering arts of neurodivergence, inclusive sales strategies. That's my favorite subject, though. Being a neurodivergent, I have seen my shift towards I was very much in quiet, introvert, and then due to my characteristics and due to my social atmosphere, I would say I was more into introverted rather than now I'm extroverted, and I can switch my characteristics between all of these things. But still I can see people, they have fear to go beyond their limits, and they wanted to do good in business, but still they have fear how they can do it. So Anna, we just gonna talk about how we can develop an inclusive sales strategies for neurodivergent people. So we have spoken before these going live today what we're going to be talking about. So Anna, do you want to start?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you say is so accurate, Dr. Shah. It's people sort of lump neurodivergence into one category, but we all know it's a spectrum and that it's very diverse. And I think that a lot of the things that I've seen when it comes to advice on neurodivergence, it tends to be very much this or that, but actually we are a diverse bunch of people, and actually our solutions are as diverse as we are. And I think it's about understanding yourself and what you like and what you don't like. Dr. Shah and I were just talking about, we both hate the telephone, absolutely hate it. Now, I don't know if that's a neurodivergent thing for me, or when I did the Myers-Briggs If anyone's seen the Myers-Briggs personality test, I think I'm an INFP. Apparently we hate the telephone, but Dr. Shano, it was very similar reasons that we didn't like the telephone, was that we couldn't see people's facial expressions, we couldn't read them, so sometimes we struggled to understand the context of how they were feeling. We would talk about, we like video calls, we like in person. I don't mind a message or a email if I get time to be able to think and compose. If I want to write something detailed, as an ADHD brain, I tend to splurge out a lot of information, and if I actually want to do something considered and timely, I might send one or an email because I need to actually think about it and not do my usual out at people. And when it comes to sales, I feel like this is very similar. You see a lot of things. Oh, you must cold call people, you must do DMs, you must do this. But actually, you must not do anything. I always find, actually, do what's comfortable for you. Because if you're uncomfortable, if I'm phoning someone up, I'm probably not going to give my best self. I'm going to be uncomfortable. I might, and ah, and not be as me as I could be. So for me, if I'm doing a sales strategy, it might be that I do like DMs for a sales strategy, being able to compose something and do something, or I do like meeting people in networking events where it's a bit more free and friendly, and feels less salesy. So why would I call people? I know that some people have success with calls, but that's probably because it suits them. It suits their personality. And the thing you've got to think about the other end as well, if that person builds a rapport with you over the phone, is that because they like the phone too? And if they enjoy the phone, they might end up phoning you up every week. And then you're going to hate it because you don't like, I don't know if anyone else gets like a phone call and you're like, who's that? Why are they calling me? Because I don't like an unsolicited phone call. I just, oh my goodness, I don't know who this, I'm not expecting it. I'm not prepared for it. So actually, maybe if you DM someone and they DM back, actually, they're also the type of person that likes to DM. If they don't DM me back, maybe they don't like DMs, so they're not your type of person. So you're probably more likely to attract people that like similar communication methods to you if you communicate in the way that you enjoy. And you don't have to stick to one communication method. I was talking to one of my colleagues the other day, and he's been working with companies who not only do sort of digital marketing and DMs and things like that, and traditional networking, but they mix it up with sending letter writing to people. They, going back old school, handwritten letters, getting great rates of people coming back to them and conversion rates. So, you can broaden this sort of spectrum of how you connect with people. It can be 2 or 3 different methods that are comfortable for you. And it's the same like when you go through to that next phase, often people want to meet or talk, and try and stick to mediums that you're comfortable with, so it could be a Teams call, because if you're not near the person that you want to work with, you might want to do a Teams call so you can see each other. Or, you could meet in person. And once again, in meeting formats, do you like agendas? Do you like to know what's happening? So do an agenda beforehand so there's no surprises in the meeting. Be very upfront about what the meeting's about. Do you think, I feel like we're afraid to do things that make us comfortable. And actually, if we want to work with someone, have a long-term relationship, we have to start on that format of what makes us comfortable, what is sustainable, and what suits our personality, our neurodivergence, and continue that forward. And you, Dr. Shah, you were talking about fear, and I think the problem is people going too far. Like, you've got to go out your comfort zone, but sometimes doing something that's too wildly different too soon, rather than easing them way into it, actually that causes fear and people to pull back. I know very much with my 8-year-old son, if he's slowly introduced to something new, he gets there eventually. If he is thrown in at the deep end, my son's autistic, he will be thrown in the deep end, and actually he takes 2 steps back rather than one step forward, because it's pushed him too far. It was swimming as an example. I was taking him to one-to-one swimming lessons because he's not very good with groups, and they were teaching him to jump in off the side. Now, sensory-wise, my son hates water on his face and absolutely cannot stand it. He's quite scared generally of thrill-seeking or anything slightly daring. So they were getting him to sit on the side and sort of drop in, and they would catch him, very, very slowly. A new teacher came for 1 week because his usual lady was on holiday, and this chap got him to jump in standing up and full force, and sort of kind of caught him but not properly, and my son got water splashed all over his face. Now, for the next probably 6-7 weeks, my son wouldn't even sit on the side and jump in again, in his usual way that he was comfortable with, because it almost thrown him 2 steps backwards. And I find if we push ourselves into something that's so uncomfortable and it's so sudden, like suddenly picking up the phone and trying to do 50 cold calls, then we have that issue that we start retreating back again and sort of almost take those steps backwards. I don't know what you think about that, Dr. Shah, because it kind of fits in with your sort of fear area.
So, neurodivergent person is like a chameleon. You can change your colors based on the atmosphere, based on your culture, and based on the people that you work with. And I have seen that it's extraordinary features, I would say, for neurodivergent, that you can adopt with things. So if you talk about neuroplasticity, we are more greater than a neurotypical person to adapt for adaptation. So in that scenario that you talk about, cold calling, you talk about in face-to-face appointment, you talk about a lot of other things. We cannot do even anything if we do not train ourselves to certain points. So if I give my example, being an introverted person and then a outspoken person like now I have seen my shift towards different stages. And I didn't overcome my fear in one day. It took time. I have to challenge myself. So, and the most effective challenge I did myself when I was challenged by other people. Okay, like you cannot do that. You cannot do that. You are not good at. Oh, I know what you can do. Blah 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 blah. That gave me courage to be challenged. And then I said, okay, I know my capacity. If I wanted to learn something, I can do better than the challenged person. Like, okay, if you challenge me, I can do better than you. Yes, I don't have the skills now, but if I train myself, I will gain that one and I will do better than you. So let's start. Let's start. So when you talk about fear, yes, we have fear. When I go, and as well as I don't like certain things, like, okay, telephone, I will never hold my phones and I will never answer that. Doesn't matter who that person is. Why? I don't like it. So you don't, if you challenge me, maybe I don't want it to improve that capacity. Okay? That's one thing. Another thing, you talk about lots of medium. So in-person events are great for neurodivergent person because we see things and wanted to see things visually. Like, okay, if I'm meeting a person, what their behavior towards us. Because when you see someone, you will feel, because we have great instinct. And that great instinct can give you vibes like, you will talk about neurons, and when you go in front of other person, the neurons speak itself. Okay, they understand our body, our sixth sense. They understand that, okay, this person, they didn't like me, or they did like me, and they don't like I'm talking. I need to stop. Those things, those cue, it's necessarily needed for anyone. And then cells is I would say it's a cells is like a sketchboard. So when you start sketching something, you are new. So you have to gain certain skill sets to become a good salesperson, and that you cannot do in 1 or 2 days. It takes years. For me, I'm learning as a salesperson, but I can do sales. But to come to this stage, it took me a few years. And I think the viewers, you're watching these events, we already got some questions from the audience as well. We're going to jump into that. So if you are watching this webinar from LinkedIn or any other social media, please feel free to ask questions from the comment box, and we will try to answer them for you. And thank you for joining today's live webinar. I'm Dr. 𝐄𝐯, and we have Anna Bremington with me. We are co-hosting these events we have did last year, and we have a great plan for this year, online and in-person events. So we need our community to support us together. For the ND Business Club, we intend to support neurodivergent businesses. If you wanted to know related into technology, sales and marketing, business development, we have that skills within us, and we will also onboard people. They have skill sets in other domains. So if you have a problem, feel free to ask us. We'll be more than happy to answer you. And Anna is the innovation director in the Oxford Innovation Center, and lots of businesses are over there. So we have the missing puzzle pieces for you to solve those problems. And we are also connecting different organizations. So if you need any support, feel free to contact us, and we can signpost you if we cannot solve this problem. So Anna, we go back to our conversation again, and we're going to be answering some questions. So do you want to answer some question first and then go back to conversation?
Yeah, we can do. Yeah.
Okay. So just going to see the question. So we have one questions from Redmond. Why it is important to develop sales strategies that are inclusive of neurodivergent individuals?
I mean, for me, it's because if you're not catering for everyone, either yourself, if it's you that's doing sales, or for your team, it means that you're not really getting the best out of your team, isn't it? Or yourself, because if you're trying to look at a sales strategy that doesn't suit your personality, or your brain type, or how you enjoy working with people, then you're just going to find it so much more difficult. You're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to have your best performance. And actually, the one thing I find is that as ADHD, I tend to like to procrastinate on things that I don't like. And what you'll find is, you won't do any sales, because you won't do the process and go through the process. You'll end up, for me, it's tinkering with my website, because that I feel comfortable there and I find it easy. Or it might be, I like going to, I'll chat to someone that I know that's friendly, rather than doing sales. So I think, it's actually really important, because you won't progress forward with your sales, and you'll just end up going, no, I don't like that, I'll just do something else, and putting your head in the sand. Because I know I do, and I've seen it with quite a few neurodivergent friends, that if you make something more difficult than you can enjoy and it should be, you won't do it. And you won't. To be fair, even non-neurodivergent people are the same. There's a brilliant book called Eat That Frog, which is about doing things that you don't like. And there will always be things that you don't enjoy doing in business. There's always, mine's my accounts. And I know the 31st is coming up, and I've got my poor accountant is waiting for my accounts for the end of the year. There's certain things that you don't enjoy doing, and they are going to be more difficult, and sales tends to be one of them. But make it as easy as possible on yourself. Don't do something that is so hideous to you that you can't do it. That's what I think.
I totally agree with you, Anna, because we know few things that we need to consider when we wanted to make it neuro-inclusive, I would say. First of all, what is your first priority? Your first priority is your business, isn't it? And then you are doing a business. You are not doing a thing of hobby. Business can't be hobby. If business is hobby, then you need to invest a lot of money. You have to have millions in your pocket, and then you do a lot of charitable work. Then it's become hobby. But if you're doing business, then you need to think about the business and like a business person. Like, okay, you have a business and you are neurodivergent. So what you need to consider afterwards. So if you wanted to do sales, you need to learn it first, because sales is not a thing that you could do in 1 or 2 days. So you need to learn that. And if you cannot learn it, you need to hire someone, because if you are doing business, you cannot learn such things. It's not even sales, any other related work that you need to consider to become a to Z business capacity. Like, okay, you need a lot of things. You need sales, you need marketing, you need to know about digital technology, now AI, content, and a mammoth of work. So if you can consider yourself that, okay, you can do something that you like, that the most people will do, so you do that, and you hire someone to do the list important for you, or maybe you cannot do it, you're going to prioritize it for you. So that's the way forward, because sometimes we struggle. Okay, we have to grow our business and we don't like those work to be done, and they're left behind and we cannot grow. So if you wanted to be a neuro-inclusive sales strategist, then you need to think about properly straight that, okay, you have to do it, because otherwise you cannot grow, because without considering that, you will fall apart, you will be behind, and you cannot grow. So that's the first thing. So feel comfortable what you wanted to do. If you want a neuro-inclusive strategist, understand how you can build one. If you cannot build one, there are people out there like Anna, like me, and a lot of other people they can support you with, and that is their passion and bread and butter. So they can support you, and you can oversee. Like, okay, you are very good at observation, so you oversee, and you can add your knowledge as well. Like, okay, you have knowledge, but you are not very good at doing it, but you are very good at prioritizing it. You are very good at thinking of it, and then working within a team. So that I would offer, or I would say, for the questions of Ridwan. What do you think, Anna?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I mean, like you said, sales is just so important for your business. You know, without sales, you've got no money coming in. So, you know, how are you going to grow without sales? And, you know, but it is, you know, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and it is their difficult one. I think the problem is there's a lot of sales training around as well. And I've been to a few sessions on it, and it's very much a cookie cutter approach, one way of doing it, and they give you a script, and they give you this, you know, this is how you do these sales, and you've got to phone people up and do this script, and oh goodness, my brain switches off at that point, and it feels so uncomfortable. And you know, this is important. These, you know, sales are incredibly important, and the amount of businesses that I see that start to crumble because, you know, they won't do it themselves. Sometimes the problem is they can't hire someone to do it, or, you know, that they don't want to budget for doing that. So they end up doing no sales, and you can't have a business without sales. That's the entire point of it. Like you said, unless it's a hobby business. So this is something you are going to have to at some point do. You know, you can't procrastinate forever, because your business, the people that I see that don't do sales, their business just closes. So, you know, I know that when I'm having time with my business, and I'm in a time where I'm resistant to sales, and I know that I am sometimes. I go through that phase where I don't want to do it, procrastinate, and it's really difficult. And my sales slump, you know, because that's the effect of not doing sales. And, you know, they can slump pretty quickly sometimes. So, you know, it's something you do have to battle. And you know, I've had my businesses, I help other businesses, but I still battle with it. It's still difficult, because it's one of those things I'm not comfortable with. I like teaching and training, and a bit, you know, I'm a bit of a, you know, one of those that just likes to help people. I'm not very money minded. So it doesn't help when you're, you know, when I look at the Myers-Briggs that I said about earlier, where I'm the INFP, I think it is, a mediator. And there's a picture of the type of person it is, and it's a woman with like flowers on her head, sort of dancing along, you know, sort of almost hippie like. And that's very much me. You know, I like to help people, I like to do good. You know, if I had millions of pounds, I would just go around helping people all the time. But I don't have millions of pounds, so I do have to do sales. You know, and it is that war. So I do understand that war with people having, where it's just too hard. And some of it is mindset as well. You know, I went through a phase when I opened my business of having to do more social media. I don't really like my face on social media. I like to be behind the camera, and I started doing videos, and I didn't start doing them straight onto like LinkedIn. I was in a LinkedIn group. It was a private group. And the guy that was doing it, I was telling him I was having real problems with videos. So he set some challenges, and they were only in the group, and they were I think, do 2 truths and 1 lie, and just do it on video, and then do a second video, which is your answers of which is the truth and which is the lie. Just really small, comfortable steps that helped me start producing, you know, just videos where I'd not overthink them. I'd just do them. Whereas, you know, when I'm trying to do it for social, I remember once doing like 136 takes for a video for social because I was overthinking it. So he got me to sort of be more natural. And from him, and him helping with that, I then launched my podcast, and I started putting some videos on social, and we started doing webinars, you know, so these steps, they do sort of take you somewhere. Like you said, Dr. Shah, they're quite slow. But I'm not saying that I still don't have trouble. I do struggle doing a video still, even. It's still not natural to me. I struggle to take photographs of my face, you know, and things like that. And I really, you know, it's still not natural, but I've learned sort of how to do it to make it as least painful as possible.
That's the thing, Anna, because, you know, we are talking it probably again and again to give an impression to all the neurodivergent people. They're going to be watching this webinar. It's like you have to have a problem, and then you try to solve that problem. And when you try to solve their problems, it doesn't matter what path you will take. Okay, and if the thing is straightforward, like, okay, if you wanted to solve their problems, do you have that capacity, or you need to grow that capacity? So if you can grow that capacity, that, like you said, gradually you improve your characteristic towards that, because everyone has neuroplasticity. So this neuroplasticity can be tailored to your specific needs. And if you cannot do it at the end, that's fine, but at least you can try. We don't like a lot of things. If you see my webinar, when I started a few years back, and then gradual shift towards now, if someone asks me, can you do a webinar in the next hour? I will say, yes, I can, because I have trained myself few years, and now I'm capable to go for online events anytime that is needed. And that point, I have to work towards it. And I think Redwan has the next questions, is like challenges. There are many challenges, isn't it? For neurodivergent person to become salesperson, to become a lot of things. But what I did, if I give example of that, I don't like telephone conversation. So I never will ask them to phone me. That's one that I would do. What I do, I ask them, okay, can we have a meet or team meetings or Zoom meetings? If they're willing to do that, that's my first thing. Or I invite them maybe in a webinar or record something with them. So make myself comfortable with them, and then gradually and engage with the sales strategies and a lot of other things that I wanted to do. So that could be one thing. To make you have to the challenges to face, or messaging them. I can message them anything gradually. We use WhatsApp, we use normal messaging, and as well as in Google Meet, you have messaging options. So a lot of other things. So when you wanted to challenge yourself and then tailoring the specific thing for what is suitable for you. Because if I'm training someone, the other person is not my characteristics. I need to understand that first. And then based on that, you need to tailor them. And then you can get the success you are looking for. Sales is very critical. So some people, they wanted to do push sales. Some people, they wanted to do just, they don't want to talk about sales. They want to do in other ways. So lots of resources are online. If you are a neurodivergent person, there are lots of resources over there. You can see, check, get help, and then you can really grow your sales pipelines. And that is necessarily needed, because without sales, doesn't matter. You are a multimillionaire or you just started, you don't have any money. For sales, everything is same, because you have to do sales. And that will bring your business to the next levels.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, I think the thing is as well, when you're neurodivergent, people focus on the challenges you have, as if neurotypical people don't have challenges. But they do. I know lots of neurotypical people that don't like the phone, that they don't like the thing. But they're seen, I don't know if you find this, but it's seen as, oh, you know, their preferences. And then, but as soon as it becomes neurodivergent, people go, oh, it's because of their neurodivergence as well. You know, oh, we don't cater for that. But yet they cater for neurotypical preferences a lot of the time. And I find it's quite strange. I've actually experienced it in business where, you know, I've got a similar issue to someone else, but because I'm neurodivergent, oh, it's a neurodivergent issue, and oh, they're being awkward or difficult or something. But actually, you know, in the entire world, everyone has their own preferences and differences. And with sales strategies and with anything in business, they can't be black and white. Everything needs to have variations to accompany every different personality type. You know, if you want a really well-rounded business, you know, you may be just on your own at the moment, but if you want a well-rounded business, now I highly recommend Matthew Syed's Rebel Ideas, which talks about diverse thinking in business. It's all about making sure you have a diverse array of people in your business who think and do things in different ways, because they're shown to be the most successful businesses. And it's not just demographic diversity, it's cognitive diversity, you know, background diversity. So, you know, he said even like if you took two statisticians who had trained in different disciplines, that would be diversity. You know, you want this background of diversity. And without that, you end up with quite a linear sort of samey business, lots of yes people in. So, you know, it's really good for business. You know, I worry that people go, oh, I would have to cater for neurodivergent. I have to cater for different this and that. And people are quite rigid. They almost get quite, oh, I don't want to do that. But actually, it's good for business. You know, neurodivergent people in your business are excellent. They have different points of view. They, you know, and every single different neurodivergent person is different. Can't just have one token neurodivergent person, because we're all different. So, you know, you see that, don't you? The tokenism with like one of this person, one of that. But no, you know, everyone has a different background and diversity and different way of thinking. So having this really nice, well-rounded set of people, and, you know, including, you know, yourself, if you're your own business owner, don't try and conform and be like everyone else. That's what's going to make you stand out, isn't it, Dr. Shah? If you're different and you're yourself,
yes,
you know.
Every person is different. So if you measure yourself with other person, that won't be right measurement, because there isn't a second person like you.
No,
there isn't. Even your future generation, like your son or daughters, they even will have little bit of you, and the most of them. So they will be different. So if you measure yourself with other person, okay, he's doing very good sales, or he's doing very good this, he's doing very good that. Yes, you can inspire yourself. That's one thing. That's positive. That, okay, you inspire yourself, and then try. First thing is try. I have seen you, Anna, when I was in the UK, I did not know that I'm neurodivergent. Okay. And what I have seen in my country, in Bangladesh, and when I came here is like over there, parents, they push their children to overcome their barriers, or maybe they push so hard. Sometimes it's not good, but only for this push, we didn't realize that we have problems. So we have a different type of needs, and that those need to be addressed. But what happened? We are prone to anything that, okay, if you give me challenge, I can do that. Why? Because we are trained to do that. When I came here, and I can see that, okay, I don't like social gathering, so I will not go to social gathering at all. I don't like to work in public, so I will not like to work in public at all. And a lot of other things that I don't like, that means I do not do that. But with our culture, yes, you don't like it, but you at least try. Okay, that makes us, I think, different than the most of the Western culture. Like if you see African people, is similar. Mid Eastern people is similar. Yes, you don't like it, but you need to at least try that. Okay, you can do it. So for neurodivergent person, I think, Anna, your success, my success, and a lot of other neurodivergent people, their success, beneath is trying. Okay, we are not good at, but unless we try, we don't know it is our strength or it is our weaknesses, and how far we can go, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's somewhere like, you know, you said about the two different girls, it's a balance between the two, isn't it? It's about being comfortable and not forcing yourself to do something that actually, if you do it for the rest of your life, you're going to absolutely hate and not enjoy. But there is a push to move forward as well. You know, I always say, like, you know, don't stop baking until you're dead, because otherwise you end up as a moldy cake on the shelf. And, you know, it's about pushing yourself and seeing your boundaries and seeing where you're comfortable and how you can push yourself forward. You know, I'm doing it a lot with my son at the moment. You know, my son is autistic and he's very scared and nervous to do new things, even try new foods. And we just do it in a controlled, safe environment, a way that he is comfortable doing it. And he comes on leaps and bounds. You know, he was struggling with reading, and my son also has PDA, which is demand avoidance. So if you put too much pressure on him, he sort of pulls right back. Hence the water swimming thing that he did before, and he pulled right back. And he was finding that when he was faced with a book to read, he just couldn't do it, because it, you know, a book is quite big, it's quite hefty, it's quite scary. So what we started doing with him is we'd start reading when he was sitting on the toilet. We would read the back of the shampoo bottle, or you know, like the cleansing solution or something that was on the side. When he was playing video games, instead of reading the text for him, we would get him to read it himself. When he wanted us to search for something on YouTube, we would get him to read the titles of the program, so he could see which one he wanted to watch. And it felt comfortable because it was something he was enjoying doing, and we were almost adding it. It was an add-on, and we were making him read these things, and so, you know, suddenly his reading is sort of shot right up, because it's about those small steps. It's about taking your time, but pushing yourself. He's been really pushing himself, and in his group, he's suddenly shot above the rest in reading. And we could have quite easily gone, oh no, he's really struggling with reading, you know, we'll just leave him be and not do anything. But I mean, we know in life how important reading is, because you can't really struggle. I knew someone who couldn't read, and he was in his 60s, and his life was incredibly difficult because he couldn't read. He couldn't do any of his paperwork. He couldn't do sort of simple things in shops. And so it was incredibly difficult for him. So, you know, trying to push these things, you know, we say about sales, you know, reading is important. Sales are important. They are things that you must do. You know, if you've got a business, you need to be able to do sales. So you're going to have to just, like, you know, read the shampoo bottle and slowly get yourself there. But do push. You know, I've pushed myself. And sometimes it just doesn't work. And, you know, like you said, Dr.
It's okay.
I don't get there. You know, I struggle. You know, I'm I've got ADHD. I've realised no matter how many journals I buy, I'm never going to be that organised. I mean, I've got 50 notebooks in my house that have got no writing in, and I just keep buying them with the intent that I'm going to get to this, Dr. Shah level of organisation. And actually, it's not going to happen. I've got to admit that I've got some way, but I'm not going to get all the way. But some of the way is good. I've made progress, like you said, Doctor. I've made some progress, and I've got to a level where I can cope. But if I hadn't pushed myself, I'd probably not be to the level I'm now. I would probably just be all over the place still. So, there's pushing and finding those boundaries. And, at this stage, I've realized I'm 45. This is probably as good as it gets. I'm going to have to use my energy elsewhere because that's where it's more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of where I'm going to get. And I mean, with sales, you don't have to be an expert salesperson, do you, Dr. Shah? Because if you get to a certain level and you can make enough sales, like you said, Dr. Shah, you can hire someone. So, you only need to get to a certain level. You don't have to be best salesperson in the entire world. You need to make enough sales to be able to hire a salesperson. That's what you need. That's your level.
Yes, I totally agree with you, Anna, because we're talking about sales, and it has to be like when I train someone to get a scholarship. So I train students across the globe to acquire or maybe gain PhD scholarships. So what I teach them is like, you're going to be eating, you think about a scholarship, sleeping, think about the scholarships, bathing, think about a scholarship. So anything that you do, the gaining a scholarship would be your mantra. Okay, so you will gain it at the end. Yeah, okay, if you can't gain in, but the knowledge you will gain through this journey, 6 months to 1 year or 2 years, that will be real assets. So you will not regret it that you didn't try. So that's my mantra. Like, okay, if I wanted to learn something, I will learn it. Yes, I will see my boundaries. I will see all the challenges that will come. And then if I cannot resolve it, but the knowledge I gain, that will definitely give me some future benefits. So if you know that both of us have this similar way of development, technology, marketing, business development, so on, and they are now playing a vital role in your business, in my business. I can think about marketing. I can think about storytelling. I can think about sales. I can think about AI. I can think about technology and everything you need it now. And without all those things, no business can sustain. So that's a good thing. People say, okay, what you are doing, you are just changing your domain here and there. But those things, whatever I did, I had a characteristic that I have to finish that. That's the one thing. So if I'm doing something, I will finish that. And then my mind will shift to others because I have captured whatever I wanted to do. So I need something new to do it. So that's why you will see that I have different shifts and different milestones to be covered. But now they are playing a vital role. The way I can think, the way Anna, you can think, some other people they cannot. So that is our strength. So to all the viewers, thank you very much for enjoying today's webinar. And I'm Dr. Shah Siddiqui, and we have Anna Bremington, and we are talking about sales strategies. So if you wanted to grow your sales and grow your business, the first thing you need to do is to believe in yourself that, okay, you can do it. And then if you can't do it, you can hire someone to do that for you. And that would be way forward. So Anna, in our last segments, we just wanted to talk about integrating technology tools for sales. How, you know that you also work and you also support people with marketing, sales, and technology. What would be the easiest way for people, they wanted to grow their sales, if they wanted to embed tools and technology to their sales pipeline?
I think it's, particularly for neurodivergents, it's trying to find the areas that the tools can compensate for the bits that you don't like particularly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for example, you know, I give the example that I'm not very organized, that I struggle with things like, you know, doing things on time and everything. So for me, I love automation because I don't have to think about it. If someone goes into my sales cycle when I'm doing them, they get the emails, they get the prompts, everything sort of goes and happens without me having to interfere with them. And so I'm a big fan of automation because I think it takes a lot of the pressure off, and things can just happen in the background. Also, you know, it helps avoid overwhelm, because if I had to manually send like 50 emails instead of having them automated, that would be really stressful, particularly as everyone comes in your sales cycle at different points. So I think a really strong automation sort of set of campaigns is really important for neurodivergence. I think that, you know, they are quite hard to set up sometimes. That's why you need people like Dr. Shah to help set them up and that. But once they're done, it actually takes a lot of that stress away, doesn't it? You don't have to think so much. You can get on with doing the bits that you prefer. I am a big fan of AI as well. I know that, you know, people love-hate relationship with it. I'm an ex-programmer. I'm quite techie. I feel like I use AI very well because of my background. I prompt it very well. I've gone into the depths and details of how to use it. So I find, like, when I'm writing content with him, I'm an ex-content writer as well, so it probably helps that I can proofread it and edit content when I'm doing it. But for people that struggle with writing, struggle with communicating, AI is a good first step to help them communicate with people, to get a base or a start. You know, I have, as well as ADHD, I have fibromyalgia. I get a lot of brain fog. So I find sometimes if I'm having a bit of a brain fog, if I ask AI to help me start something, and for me, the key with AI is giving it as much information as possible. You know, when people type into write me a blog on accountancy or something, I mean, that's, you know, that's no prompting, is it? That's, you've not given them anything. But what I tend to do is, you know, I might have done a video or a podcast and I will transcribe it in Otter AI and I will feed it into ChatGPT. And I'm like, right, I'm thinking about writing 3 blogs and these 3 different subjects within this podcast. Can you know, give me a draft of each 3 of them? And then it'll actually come out with something half decent that then I can copy edit and I can do myself, but I've taken that initial brain fog, overwhelmed stage and had a helping hand doing it. And then I can sort of tweak to my heart's content. And I find that, you know, AI can be a massive help for that. I get it to do all sorts for me, write in Excel documents. I think people don't realize the power of it. I start getting migraines. I've got it to write a migraine diary for me that I could fill in. I've got it to analyze lots of data for me when I've done marketing campaigns, and it will take the data and read it back and give me an analysis, which, you know, I used to have to, when I worked in big businesses, I have to wait for my insight team to do that. But it was really good at analyzing data. So there's lots of stuff where you can take that overwhelm away. And you know, if you're having brain fog or difficulties getting started, it can be a little bit of a helping hand. And like I said, automation for anyone that can't do things on a regular basis themselves.
I totally agree with you, Anna, because as myself, and having background in software developments, and then having a PhD in AI, I see real benefits adding technology. You know, the way me and my team we work is steering technology towards everything that we do. So as a software developer, you know that we develop custom softwares with mainstream language. Everything is hand coded. So we solve people's problems, and we also have problems. So we're going to solve that. So what we do, we challenge ourselves, like, okay, this is a problem, and how we can solve that problems with technology. I can give a recent example of, you know, that we need to create agreements, sign agreements, and online platform. There are very few platforms that you can sign agreements with in the UK. Is handful, not many, and they are expensive. So that was one of my problems, and I cannot tailor it that way that the neurodivergent brain will work. So what I did that, okay, this is my problem. So it could be problems of many neurodivergent individuals. So what I did, I created that program to customize agreement, preparing agreement proposal, and then signing it, automating it. So I solved that problem. So when I solve these problems, automating a proposal and then auto signing it and saving it the way I want, this problem could be many other people facing the same thing, neurodivergent people, I would mention here. So solving problems with technology is a great thing and add-on. So if you do not have that capacity, there are technologies out there. You can ask them specifically to give tailored solution. And another thing, we automate emails, we automate messaging in way WhatsApp and all other messaging, because you need to send lots of messaging, lots of emails to your target audience, and then you shift through like funnels, and then you get the cells on the bottom of your line. If you do not automate and add technology, so what you need an email client, and you can find email clients online. Lots of emails, you can send 300 emails up to 3 every day or every month. But we develop our email client because, as I said, I'm neurodivergent, I have different problems. So tailoring the methodology to solve their problems. So we can send emails. And then it comes CRM. You have to have a CRM, because if you're a neurodivergent and you wanted to sell or grow a sales pipeline, there are HubSpot and a lot of other CRM tools over there. But as I said, we are software development, and we wanted to customize, so we developed to tailor one person to steer it to. So adding technology, then AI, like, okay, if you wanted to add AI to your pipeline, I see it as a helping tools, because as a neurodivergent person, we have many problems, and we have fogs and a lot of other things. So when you add systematically AI, then it's your success. So the way we work and tailor our methodology to the next levels, we can do 20 times faster than the normal a typical office space will work. We can do 20 times faster. Why? We have added these technological tools within our framework. And so if any neurodivergent businesses, they wanted to grow faster, I think adding technology and automating things will give them more growth than not embracing technology.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. I just think it's, particularly with small business owners, you only got one pair of hands, haven't you? You haven't got the time to do all these things. And I think that becomes half the overwhelm as well, particularly if you are creating your own product or service and actually delivering it. It's almost weird, because when you start your own business, you start it and you start it because you love doing the thing that you love doing, whether it's, I want to do some marketing, I'm creating this engineering project, I'm doing this coding. You do the thing that you love doing, and that is almost a full-time job in itself, isn't it? So trying to fit in all this sales, marketing and everything, you see this as your core product and this is what you want to spend your time on. And then you have all these other things that you suddenly got to do alongside them. But all of these things are actually full-time jobs of their own. So you're trying to do about 15 full-time jobs. And that's where technology really helps, doesn't it? Because it's almost like having a second person helping you out, being able to lift some of that weight. It's hard. I find it's the hardest is if you're not from a technology background yourself. Because, you and I, Dr. Shah, we've got a technology background. We could sort of bodge something to, I could bodge something together. You can do it very well. But we can put something together ourselves. Whereas if you're not from a technology background, creating automated funnel, using AI, is a bigger barrier. You know, I know someone who's a yoga teacher doesn't really barely use a computer apart from sort of the odd email and that, and she loves the idea of automation, but she, you know, she says to me, I can't really even use Word, I'm really struggling, so how am I going to do it? And so I think that's where the struggle to start using these technologies begins, because you've got to then learn sort of about technology, and it feels like it's a mammoth task. But it's really interesting because my dad, in his 70s, started creating MIDI music and music on the computer, and he got a keyboard and he would play the music. He would then sing and record it. And this is a man in his 70s that, you know, had not grown up with computers, and then he learned how to put slideshows over it and put it on YouTube. So I think if my dad can do that, I believe in anyone watching, and anyone in the world can do anything. Because if my dad can be on YouTube with his music, literally anyone can. But the difference, and this is the difference I noticed between my mum and dad, is because my mum couldn't even work a video cassette player, you know, and they're obsolete now. She wasn't interested and didn't want to learn, and she very much put a barrier up. My dad, very much exactly what you were saying, that learning mindset, Dr. Shah, wanted to know, you know, he didn't know anything about computers. The amount of time I had to reformat his computer because he had a virus, you know, I can't even count. It's more than the fingers I've got in my hands. But he kept trying and trying and trying. And I'm not saying he's good, you know, super programmer and extraordinaire, but he got videos on YouTube that he'd recorded the music himself, mixed it together. I mean, that's a feat, you know. And he was, like I said, he was in his 70s, and he'd not used a computer much before this. So I feel like it's that desire and that need, and it's almost a mindset change, isn't it, Dr. Shah, to be able to embrace that. You know, technology is not scary. You've just got to take it slowly, a bit like sales, step by step, learning, talk to people like us, talk to people around, and just get slowly there, because you will. You know, if he can do it, anyone can. And you know, I'm gonna stick by that, Dr. Shah.
Yes, I totally agree with you, because when I give examples to people, I said, if I can do it, anyone can. I give another example of my son. He's 10 and a half now. And see, he requested me last few years, can I open a YouTube channel for himself? And I did not allow him. But this year, end of last year, he really wanted to do it. Said, Dad, can I do a YouTube channel? Because I know I can do greater stuff. And I said, okay, let's see what he can do. Because he's 10 and a half, so I need to shift his thinking to, okay, he is capable to doing things. He's autistic as well, a similar tendency like your son. So I helped him to open the YouTube channels, and he started posting videos there. And I can see that his videos, he's getting 1,000, 2,000 likes. And he said that, Dad, look, I have 20 subscribers. I said, I even didn't have 20 subscribers.
That's amazing.
So, you know, you need to trust yourself, and as well as you need support from your family or friends and whoever they are. I was trusted by a lot of people during my entire growth. So yesterday I did a program on NBC, and one of my early teacher, when I was doing my graduation, he's Carl, and he's working in Oxford now. Okay, and he told me, Shah, very great to know that you are doing this stuff. I said, yes, I learned from you and I'm implementing that. And he said, okay, let's have a chat next week. I wanted to know what you are doing now. So, you know, inspiration and as well as recognizing people, they have contributed to your growth is necessary. First thing, you will go so far away if you recognize people's and as well as trust yourself and get to know your boundaries. Otherwise, it's not difficult. Anna, we are just nearly end of our session. So I would request you to add maybe a closing remarks to the audience.
Yeah, no, it's been wonderful. You know, we just reiterate, you know, sales are really important, but build yourself up and try and do it in a way that's comfortable to you. And try and embrace technology if we can. Try and make it as easy as possible. If we make these tasks as easy as they can be for us and as comfortable, while still pushing ourselves, like Dr. Shah says, then we can make leaps and bounds. I'm now off to follow Dr. Shah's son on YouTube because he sounds amazing. But if you want to connect with me, Anna Bravington on LinkedIn, it's really handy. I'm the only Anna Bravington, so I'm easy to find.
There's only one, and there are many Shah Siddiqui on LinkedIn. But
there's only one Dr. Shah Siddiqui, though. Only one. You're unique.
Yeah, so that doesn't matter really. Every person is unique. So if you wanted to grow your sales pipeline, Anna and I are preparing for some in-person events as well, apart from our ND Business Club live webinar. So I think these events has gave us some new motivation to maybe stir something for you personally, as well as developing a course. So we're going to be considering maybe in the future, maybe doing an online course for, as well as participation and delivering sales and other courses together. So thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure. We have started again this year, and we have great year ahead, and we need your support. So if you wanted to catch me or Anna, LinkedIn and all of the social media, we are everywhere. So it doesn't matter. You can go to NB Consortium websites. You can go to LinkedIn as well as our page, and you will find us. You will not miss us because we are everywhere. So thank you, everyone, for joining today's live webinar. And we will catch up next month at the second week. So the events is there. We already started sending invitation. And we will see you, I think it's 13th of March in person at the Ferrum Innovation Center. We wanted to solve one problems, and we will discuss about what we can get into the government eyes that, okay, we need that to be solved. And that is our motto now. So we need your support. And Anna, thank you very much. And bye-bye, everyone. And see you next week. Sorry, next month. Bye-bye.
Bye.